Welcome to CG Spotlights, the show where I bring on artists that I love and just talk about their art and their work and why they are passionate about being in the CG industry. The very first artist that I'm bringing on is Alena Mealy. She's an incredible 3D generalist who just shines in every single thing that she does. She won the 2023 Rookies Awards for 3D animation. She has stunning pieces as seen here that really just showcase who she is as an artist and what her heart is for this industry. Alena and I met at Noman School of Visual Effects, Games and Animation. She was graduating about a year before I did, and she really took me under her wing and she taught me a lot of things. And she has just such a pure, generous, joyous heart, and I'm really excited for you guys to watch this interview. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and let's watch. This is Alena Mealy, one of my very close friends and one of my absolute favorite people in the entire world because she's just total ball of sunshine and I love her.
I love you.
Do you want to talk like a little bit about like, I don't know, your journey post graduating and stuff like that, where you're at now?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about that. So after kind of graduating, I put a lot of emphasis into applying for the rookies for 2023, and
And what happened?
I, I won, I won, but still like feel really weird about that, obviously. But yeah, I won, and that was really like it felt like like after like reaching like the top of like Mordor or whatever, you like finally like it's done. Like I can like kind of breathe a little bit. And so after graduating, I was fortunate enough to like get to work really cool gigs with really cool people.
Well, I brought you on today because I really want to talk about your llamas piece, which I believe is titled The Llamas, correct?
It is. I actually like brought out this like you're gonna die.
Oh no.
This is like this is the kind of like weird stuff that I have
Stop. Oh my
as
God.
like side art. Like nobody gifted that to me. I found that on my
This
own
is
and
just
was
you.
like,
This is
I'll
just
have this. That's so
tell me a
sweet.
little bit. I guess like you showed me a little bit, but like your
Yeah,
inspiration behind the piece and like why you chose to
awesome.
one. Yeah.
Originally, I started it in my stylized character creation class at Noman. And so we were able to kind of just like flesh out different ideas that we wanted to like potentially take on as concepts. And then I was kind of sitting there and I was like, well, like, I kept on being told throughout my time there, like, if you're going to make like personal art, like now would also be the time to do it because
Yeah.
your career is not necessarily going to let you do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, this is definitely the time. So I was like, okay, it's gonna be like a llama slash alpaca. It's gonna have great hair. That's what I know for sure.
Yeah.
It's like the aviator that he became. It was kind of like, he went from the 60s.
It's just traveling.
He went from like the war and then he was like, I need to chill. And then he was like, I'll have a new career,
New passion.
new,
Ballet.
new passion. I'm gonna
And these are
explore
my
this.
brothers.
And he's yeah, my whole family. So like yeah. And obviously, like I have like a huge like love and obsession and foundational like just like connection as you do to like musical theater and like just theater in general. Like
Mhm.
the whole experience is just like a never ending goosebumps to me. So like, for me to be able to take that element of something I love and then be like, why not llamas and theater?
The
This is
perfect
the only
combination.
time that this is the only time that no one's gonna be like, you shouldn't do that.
Well, I guess like on that then, like I mean, like you said, so many different variations of what you do. How do you choose then, like out of like all the concepts you jump through, like aviator to like, I don't know, a little bit later, like
Ugh.
B version to like
So
yeah.
yeah, for me, like I think like narrowing down my choices, like the it comes down to me actually exploring them. And
Mhm.
like I think that was, obviously I had the gift of time, so I was able to like flesh these out a lot more.
Yeah.
But, like that being said, like if I hadn't like gone through like the like, what if he was this? What if he was this? If I hadn't done that, I don't think I would have arrived to a point where I was like, okay, he's got to be a ballet dancer. This is it. This is for sure it.
Is that
So
like
like,
that feeling that you get where you're just like, oh, it's this, you know what I mean? After like
yeah, I love films like Sing and Zootopia. Those like kind of movies. Like I think obviously those are like the foundational inspirations as far as style and like the things that I was like, like animals doing human things is objectively always going to be hilarious to me.
where did you feel like you grew throughout the process of like working on this specific project or like your projects in general? Like where are you looking to grow now? I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I definitely grew a bunch during this process because I did so much like trial and error experiences, especially when it came to like grooming and like, actually like doing blend shapes and poses and transferring it, like all of this repetition of doing uh, or like creating this project and this character and like constantly changing things
Mhm.
allowed me to speed up my like workflow a lot more after making so many of like simple little mistakes. That's where I was like, like now if I were to like stumble across that mistake, it would take me half the time to like figure out what that problem was, or no time at all. So it's like the benefit is that in the end I'm working like faster or working smarter and not harder.
Totally. I think one of my favorite Alena stories, this is total tangent. I wasn't going to share this, but now I am. Is I was struggling with a software. I think it was Yeti. And I messaged you and I was like, Alena, all of my nodes are moving like crazy. I've never seen this happen before. I've looked it up. I can't find anything. I'm like deep in Reddit. What is going on? And you're just like, switch the workspace and then switch back to the workspace you're in. And you're done. How did you know this?
That's called just like pain. Like
Literally, like, I was just so shook, and it worked instantly, and I was just like,
you couldn't have messaged a more perfect person who had also done that exact. Like I felt so much for you because I was like, I had
"You
sat
did it."
there for hours being like, guess I'm just done for the night. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit on Reddit and like look up for some other sad soul who experienced my experience? So yeah, that was
Well, I thank you greatly for figuring it out for me, so I didn't have to dive
no
down
problem.
just try whatever random crap I could think of. Alright, well, my last question then for you, is again, like, on just all of your pieces, and we talked about, like, Zootopia style and Sing and all these wonderful whatevers. I feel like through all of your pieces, even though they do kind of align with that genre, it's still Alina. Like, you still have your voice in each of your pieces of artwork, and how do you do that? Does that come easy to you?
I was told like at the beginning of our time, kind of like if like we're pretending we're all like beginning which like like magicians or wizards at a school, like your style will develop as you grow as an artist. And so I was like, cool. So like it'll just happen. I won't have to like do it. Like it'll just happen. I was looking around and seeing everybody else that seemed to have this like such a strong style compared to me. And I was like, I wonder what my like what is mine gonna be? Like I know I like the things that I like to make.
Yeah.
And so, like I almost inherently feel like if I do have a style, it's not even something I'm even like it's like I'm doing it inherently without even knowing. Like like I'm not even and I feel like that sounds almost kind of douchey, but like it's not my goal or intention to come off like that.
The way I see it when I look at your work is like you put your heart and soul in everything that you do. And I think just because of that nature in itself, like it innately just like shows who you are in each piece of artwork. And that's where
Yeah.
that's how I see it, at least if you're not doing it on purpose. Personal concept or somebody else's concept?
Personal concept.
Okay. Realistic or stylized?
Plus
Okay. Creating humans or creatures?
creatures.
Nice. Texturing or modeling?
Texturing.
Okay. Tablet or mouse?
Ooh, tablet. Tablet.
Painting or sketching?
Sketching.
Tutorial or figuring it out yourself?
Ooh. I want to say do it yourself, but like I can't lie and be like I've definitely most times been like I gotta take a tutorial or
I
something.
think mine is like do it yourself until you can't figure it out, and then you find a
Yeah.
tutorial.
That's my answer. I'm like I'll try. I certainly will try.
What's your favorite software?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I want to say Unreal, and here's why.
Oh,
Recently, as someone who is like just loves to groom, and to kind of take that whole process and have that kind of instant gratification of seeing your groom in Unreal in like a live engine, like for me, I've been like, I've seen the quality that you can get in Unreal with fur. So it's like that's something I'm like currently trying to unlock is like just like how can I push the boundaries in this, because this is so cool and satisfying. Like I have lost so many hours to rendering hair only for it to sometimes maybe work, sometimes not, like
Yeah.
so like, the idea of that is like really exciting to me, but I'm really interested in an Unreal right now.
When did you this is total I have more questions, but when did you
Yeah, yeah.
start, um, like, working in Unreal? Was that, like, for work and then you kinda transitioned, or
Yeah. So when like one of my first gigs when I finished Nomen had me kind of like, this was at with the Jim Henson company.
Mhm.
So I was able to kind of learn. I basically was kind of thrown into the fire, not really, but like they wanted to use Unreal Engine and Yeti and Maya. And I was like, oh, like, let's go. I know those things. I can do this.
Yeah. Um,
And so, that experience of getting to actually do that really like burned into my brain. And I was able to like kind of after that work experience come home and be like, oh, awesome. Like I can do this. Like I can do that. I can do that. Like with my stuff, I can do this. So, like that was kind of what sparked my interest and like again, like the instant gratification of getting to see like a full groom like simulated and working and even with some blend shapes thrown on, like that to me is just so satisfying.
yeah. I guess I'll ask, like, to end this off, like, do you have any advice for anyone who's, like, I guess, struggling with, like, creative block or, like, passion block or anyone who's just, like, stuck right now? Like, what's advice?
I think the most like healthy advice I could offer that like I try to do for myself too, because I'm like, it's one thing for me to like be like, you should do this, and I don't do it. But like something I do try to do is like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll start by kind of just like drafting out if it's usually like in ZBrush or I mean, yeah, definitely in ZBrush. I'll just start drafting out like the kind of thing that I would want to make without really even looking at like reference or anything like that. Like, what are the things that I'm like really enjoying right now? And then that kind of like thought process will kind of like eventually lead me towards eventually finding like reference and stuff like that and gathering that idea that will snowball. But like it starts with just like, what would I enjoy doing? Because that's the only thing that's going to keep me like really like involved heavily with what I'm going to be doing later down the road. So like, I think the most important advice is to just keep creating art. And like that's what was imparted to me from teachers as well. And like I'm so grateful for all of the instructors that we had because, without the advice and the reminder to just love what you do and keep making it, like there are going to be times where there are downs and there are like slower times and like it's only a time to grow. And so I'm like, I should be having fun with this. That's why I love it. And like, if I can't remember that, then why am I doing this?
Like, it's my heart for, like, this whole interview, whatever video series this is gonna be, is just
Yes.
like, "Oh, we love what we do." That's why we do it, you know what I mean? And, like,
Yeah.
it's just this passionate side of, like, I don't know, this is cool stuff, and we're making fun things that we enjoy, and that's, like,
Yeah.
important.
It's so important. I don't think my sanity would be in check as much if I wasn't doing what I loved, and I'm so fortunate that I get to do something that I love, so I don't have true complaints because I get to create art and make money by creating art, so
Well, thank you so much, Alena, for coming on. Seriously, you are
Yes!
so amazing, so much fun to talk to.
Ah,
I'm so excited
yay!
to really hear this. Yeah, you are just one of my absolute favorite people. So thank you for being amazing and
Thank
always
you so much for
being
having
willing
me.
to do
I'm
this
like,
with me. Thank you.
what an honor. No, this is so nice. Like, what an honor. I thank you.